Well, here we are, part 3 of working on this Collins radio. The 75A-3, it's Collins 75A-3, came out between 1952 and 1954. So who knows how many hands have been in this thing. I know one guy's been into it and really remodified everything. That's what's taken me so long. I'm trying to go back in and find out what he changed and what he did, and I'm having to take stuff apart and going back to the schematic and then figure out if it's wired in right. And so far it has been. It's just he's got a lot of weird stuff he's been doing, plus a lot of, you know, cold solder joints, and some wires are bare that are not supposed to be bare. And so yeah, that's been kind of fun. Although I did go ahead and pull the RF section off. It's got a metal plate over top of it. And I sent a picture to my brother and I said, does this look like it's ever been touched? He said, no, that looks fine. I said, okay, good. I said, so it's just this other section I have to worry about in the receiver. That part I don't have to really bother with, and it turns out it's all the tuning coils and all that sort of stuff, so I don't have to really worry about that. But this other thing, it's just a real mess. And what I'm going to do anyway, I'm going to replace the electrolytic. And what the guy should have done, he should have just replaced it with a regular electrolytic and used the same wires that were there and put it in. What did he do? No, he cut off the terminals off of the old electrolytic cap, and then he wired new wires on it. And that's why if you see the shrink wrap that was used, yeah, it was covering all the wires. I could see what it was. He had cut the terminals off the electrolytic cap that was in there. So all you had to do was go ahead and put a new one in like this, and there wouldn't have been all this, you know, extra wire and junk in it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to go ahead and replace that with this new electrolytic, and it's going to go in, and I'm going to wire it up with the original wiring, so it'll look the way it's supposed to and work the way it's supposed to. So anyhow, I'll show you what I did there. If I can get this dog off my lap. Come on. Come on, baby. Get off. Go play with the kitty. He's right there. Alright. So let's go over here. I will show you what I have done. I gotta get my chair out of the way so I can get in here. And tilt down. Come on in. Alright. What we're concerned with is actually this whole area here. Alright. And like I said, also what I've done is this small cap that's in there, that's what was in there before. And it had a big old clip on it, and what happened, it was riveted in, so basically I busted it off so that it's clean, there's nothing in the way now. And I busted it off in pieces actually. It was metal, it wasn't plastic. So I broke that all out of there, and that's what it looks like. So I busted that all out of there, and then I took the shrink wrap off, and we'll show you the other two sections here. Right there, that is what was clipped off on one side, and he put an extra wire here to that. Okay, and the other, so this is the positive side, and the negative side, he ran another wire from here back over the negative side. The negative side actually is hooked up with the original wiring in there to the other capacitor. Okay, so that's one thing. I'm just going to unsolder that, and I'll solder that back onto the negative side on my new electrolytic. And this is the other side up here. This is the other one. That's the other positive side with the original wiring. So that original wiring is going to go back to where it belongs, back on the electrolytic. And that'll take care of that. Over here. Yeah, see if you can see that. This one here, there's so much wire on it, it's floating out there. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to cut that off, I'm going to take that wiring off. It's really flimsy wire anyway. And I'm going to replace that with some solid wire, solid insulated wire. And I will put this in so that it's a solid connection and doesn't flop around anymore. And the other one down below, it's fine, it's out of the way. So when I get done with this, it'll be all cleaned up. I have soldered back in all the other stuff that was not, it was cold solder joints and broken wires and stuff. So I have taken care of those, and these are still all right. I put new wires up in the top part up here. And so what I'm doing now, I'm just waiting for the Gorilla Glue to dry because I had to get a new plate for the bottom till I could mount it in the same location it was before. And so I'm going to do that, but I had to glue this plate on, and I used Gorilla Glue. So I'm going to let that dry up. When it's dry, I am going to go ahead and get rid of all these other wires and the other caps and junk, and I'll put this in its place, and it'll clean this whole thing up, and that'll be it. And then we'll go back and test the tubes out before I put them all back in, use de-oxit on it, and then we'll go ahead and see if we can fire this thing up. So there you are in a nutshell. That's what I've done, and that's going to be it for now. We'll talk to you guys later.